Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Gray Man Prepping. Are you ready for it? It's Survival Saturday, and today's topic is Your Pantry, Keystone of Health and Survival. Oops, and I got my avatar up. There I am. Oh, how's everybody doing there today? Jump over here and run up to the top. All right, first one in was Walt Rogers, followed by Phelan Clan Wolf, then Daniel Berry Sports Highlights, then It's the Marshmallow Man, followed by Idaho Garden Girl, and then Lori J, Queen of the North, is here. And let's see here, and then Prairie Rider, that's Lori J's other channel, and King Poopa from Ohio. And going on, and let's see. Oh, the stones are long gone, or at least we think they are, because after the first 4 days, I wasn't feeling anything of them, and either that or the little itty bitty micro ones that they said were less than a um, millimeter are just still sitting around in the kidney, going, we're going to give it another 5-6 years before we show up. All right. Oh, everyone, don't forget, drink your water. I don't care if it's wintertime. You need to hydrate. You can dehydrate actually quicker in the wintertime in the house because you have a furnace and you have furnace fireplaces, wood burning stoves going, and that will dehydrate the air, lower the humidity, which dehydrates you. So yeah, you got to watch out for that. All right. So unfortunately, Dr. Paula had a guest show up from out of town, and so she's dealing with that. So, the other thing with kidney stones. All right, so I just looked up some other information. I just spotted, came across it by accident here. Okay, so one stuff I do know is if you're eating dark leafy greens, you need to put lemon juice on it, or apple cider vinegar, or both. The vinegar and the lemon juice changes the oxalates that are in the dark green leafies when it's in your stomach, so they don't change to something else, so they don't get absorbed and go to the kidneys and cause kidney stones. And there was something else I was thinking about here about the same thing. Little Lone Prepper, welcome. It's suffices to say that when you're thinking about your pantry and your health, only put healthy stuff in there. All righty. So, well, we got 8 people watching, and unfortunately, YouTube is not showing the correct number of actual likes on anybody's screen unless you're the last one in. So no one knows how many people are actually hit the thumbs up. It's going to be Little Lone Prepper because they were the last one in. All right, so let's go over and start working on this here. All right, actually, wait a minute. Let me go back here. I want to bring something up here specifically because someone's going to if Jay or Steve or someone else comes in and sees the no Kool-Aid drinking, no couch camping, no Cheeto eating. Oh, well, Cheetos aren't bad for you. These are the ingredients of Cheetos. I looked it up specifically for tonight. Enriched cornmeal, which consists of cornmeal, ferrous sulfate, niacin, thiamine mononitrate, so that's always good for you, riboflavin, folic acid. Then you have vegetable oil, which consists of corn oil, canola oil, and or sunflower oil. Cheese seasoning, which consists of whey, cheddar cheese, milk, which is milk, cheese cultures, salt, and enzymes. There's one salt. Canola oil, besides the vegetable oil, I got canola oil in there separately again. probably because of what they're frying it in or something. Maltodextrin, which is bad for you. And this is maltodextrin made for corn, which is even worse for you. Natural and artificial flavors, including beaver butt juice. And more salt, whey protein concentrate, monosodium glutamate, which is another salt, lactic acid, citric acid, artificial color yellow number 6, and salt. So 4 things to salt. Now, artificial color number 6. Hey, let's look at that. Let's see if I can get that up a little bigger here. Boom. Okay. Yellow 6 cause adrenal gland tumors in animals, though that is disputed by the industry, and those paid off at the FDA. And there are those paid off at the FDA. It may be contaminated with cancer-causing chemicals and occasionally cause severe hypersensitive reactions. Yellow number 6 adds an unnecessary risk to the food supply. How many of your products have yellow number 6 in? We've been trying to get, my wife's been getting rid of red number 3 or 4, whatever it was, back when our kids were little. Hey, Prepper 101, how's it going? Hey, Kimberly. Yeah, I think we all need to cut back on that beaver butt juice, which is the artificial vanilla, artificial raspberry, and I forget some other flavors that they use that stuff in a lot of things just to add flavoring to things. All right, let me go ahead and drop that down. Take this back up to the top so we can get back where we're supposed to be. Okay. All righty. So, Your Pantry, Keystone of Health and Survival. Why did I pick this topic, especially pick this title? Everything you have in your pantry is for your survival, and it is the keystone of your health. You have crap in your pantry, your health is going to be crap. Hey, Kaylin, how's it going? And so, actually, let me try some. I'm going to put the link down here for the usuals and some of the others, the more common ones, any of the blue wrenches. And I'm going to pin that so all right. Earlier today, Idaho Garden Girl was live for 4 hours. I'm not sure you can do it off your phone, but I know like when Paula comes in here, I set it up so she can stream the live stream to her channel as well. So there's 6 hours. 6 hours. Yeah, she was alive for 6 hours. And for most of that, I would say for half of it, she had about 7 or 8 people in there. And the first half, she had about 12 or 15 people in there. So, she's really low on her watch hours. So if you can, go over and check out Stephanie and subscribe to her. She's got some good stuff there. Good gardening channel there. Anyways, all right. So your pantry, what you have, it doesn't have to be a big pantry like you see on the screen here. It can just be, your pantry can be in all the cupboards and stuff. All right. You may not have a separate room for your pantry. So it's one of those things you can, you need to, whatever food you have that's stored away or opened that you're using for food to eat with, that's what it is. And here comes Lewis. Hey, Lewis.
How's it going?
All right. And so when you think about it, your pantry does a big thing as whether for your health. It's a big influence on your health. In the last year, I let people know as I'm cleaning out some stuff in my pantry, not because it's past due date, but because I'm trying to improve my health, and I do some of the things. Some people say, "Oh, I'll take that if you're going to throw it away." Here you go. I felt like being Bill Engvall, and here's your sign.
Yeah.
But so I want to tell, I got some pictures of some pantries here just to show you different varieties. I mean, I like this one in fact that it has a ladder in it there, so you can go, and there's a ladder on each side. I don't know if you can tell up at the top here, up over here. You see that cursor moving up in the right hand corner. There's another one of those rails like on the left hand side there at the top. So they got 2 ladders to go back and forth to climb up and get something.
Yeah, I got a ladder in mine too.
Yeah.
It's one of those fold out ones because my pantry I stacked to the steel ceiling, like the shelves at the ceiling, and put all the stuff I really like. Like I like peaches, right? Canned peaches. So they're up by the ceiling. The apples and pears are lower on the shelves.
Yeah. All right. Kaylin said she subbed to Stephanie, but no notifications of her live. I've noticed that if the notification setting on, if you're using Chrome, where you get the pop-up notifications, you only get 4 notifications. It stacks up 4 notifications, and the others bounce, or the others come in and kick some of them out. Most of the time, they just bounce. It says you can set it up to 20, and I tried setting it up to 20, and the most I get is 7. I tried setting it at 8. The most I get is 7. So you may have to go in and just adjust it. But I spotted hers because I just cleared everything out off of mine, and boom, hers popped up. Oh, okay. In I go. All righty. So pantries. Let's look at some pantries here. Here's a nice little fancy one. This is a little more like a butler's pantry where they store all the dishes, all the fancy stuff, like a china. Instead of having a china cabinet, they have a butler's pantry. This door probably on the left here probably has cupboards with food and stuff in it. But they got a microwave in here for heating stuff up. And so this is more along the lines of a butler's pantry. This one here is has the wine cooler in it. In here, I like the under counter lighting, but with the counter in here, if it has a counter, it's made for preparing stuff in the pantry. This one I hate with a passion. Oh, I hate this pantry with a passion. Number 1 problem on the left side here, the windows. Hey, let's have windows so the light gets in, hits all these jars of jams, jellies, wines, and everything else, and makes it go bad sooner. To me, what I would do, I would be putting up mirror reflective film on the inside here and the outside. Then I would be putting up a piece of insulation, foam board insulation over it to protect it, and then maybe throw up a piece of plywood on the inside to hold everything in place, and just putting more shelves up on that left-hand wall. The other thing is that as wide as this is, I would be putting up some moving, wire rack shelves in the middle, so you can move from, just load up with stuff. You could do so much more with this pantry.
Oh yeah.
Than what they're doing with it. I mean, this is a waste of space. All right, here's one kind of jammed in there and stuff, but hey, that's cool. It's jammed in there. There was another picture, but didn't give as good pictures as this, but where they took it from over on the right-hand side, behind the one on the left here, where it has that pegboard in there, there's another shelf just on the other side of it as well. So they can walk around on the other side and see the other shelf. Hey, Shawnee Shave, how's it going? And so you see they got different type shelves. You're not stuck with doing all one type shelf.
Yeah, having different size shelves. Yeah. When I did mine, I built it myself, right, out of a bedroom. Yeah. And I designed the shelves to the mason jars because I got the ones like the 1 liters, the 500 milliliters, the 250s, and then the 1.9 liters. So the different the shelf sizes are gonna naturally be different in height, right? Because I did it to that.
Yeah. Yeah. Now that that's what I like about this one here. I know it's kind of hard unless you guys have a big, TV to put this up on. The upright dividers between the shelves have all these peg holes in it, top to bottom. So you can adjust these every inch or so, adjustment on every shelf. You can adjust the shelves to match. You can make the shelves closer together and have more shelves in there, like for all these cans and stuff. I might be seriously thinking about, because those boards will start to warp after a while. So I would be thinking about making it closer together so you have more shelves in there and less weight per shelf. But there's that there. I notice up on top here, they have their paper towels, and they have all the box cereals and stuff up on the upper left up there. And the other thing about this is it's got a nice linoleum tile floor. This is another one you could put a set of those racks from Sam's Club, because the Sam's Club ones come with wheels and on the plastic liner it goes on top of the wire racks, so you don't have to worry about jars tipping over. And you can set one or two of those in the middle, and if you need to, you can move it from one side to the other. You just leave it in the middle and just go through it. And you could increase your shelves a lot. That's one there. This is probably one of the better ones showing here, where someone's taken a room and did stuff with it.
Yeah, mine's similar to that. Yeah, that one. It's similar to that, but it's like out of 2x2s and plywood.
Yeah. All right. Kaylin said her there it is. Her apartment is her pantry. She stores things everywhere in her apartment. Okay, now this one here is an example of you don't have to be fancy. They got a couple different types of the shelving here, and the one in the middle here is one I haven't seen in years. Back in the 70s, my mom got several of those, and I put them together for her. They're a pain in the butt to put together, but they're really good because they screw together. Whereas these other two on either side of it, pieces just drop into the thing and lock down into it. And I'm not sure if the one is 18 inches wide or deep rather. But yeah, and then they're using plastic bins to store stuff in on either side here, and they got buckets. So they do what they can with what they have to store stuff. And they got the canning jars on the bottom. They got toilet paper down there on the bottom. So I just thought of something I need to add to this, the last one of the information pages here. These are two separate ones here. One is just a simple, like a pantry in a house, but they got it set up with they put the shelves in themselves. Those look like those are just the metal angle bracket ones. So they put them in permanently, but you can get ones where you can adjust the shelves on. And it looks like, if I remember right, seeing the other picture, on the other side of the door is a wall there, so it's really not double-sided. Here's another one where they built the shelves themselves. You can see on the left here where they put the bracing up, and they screwed it into the wall. And they got their empty canning jars up high, and they got the other jars, and they got one of those little shelf things you can buy at Walmart or Home Depot or Lowe's, and they set it up there. They're making do with what they can. They're trying not to spend a lot of money. All right. So what should you be putting in your pantry? Healthy foods only. So what are non-healthy foods? What do you not want to be putting in your pantry, folks? All right. You can start typing stuff in the chat and say things you've heard about that you don't want to put in your pantry, but I got a small list here. Nothing with maltodextrin in it. Maltodextrin is ultra, ultra, ultra refined, either corn, rice, or wheat. And basically, it's listed as a carbohydrate. Basically, it turns to, it spikes your blood sugar level. And it causes other problems too. Look it up on WebMD. Modified cornstarch, which is cornstarch that's been modified and refined a little bit more. Not refined as much as maltodextrin, but it is refined more. Anything modified. You don't want to have anything modified. When they say the wheat's been modified. Hey, Courtney, the link's at the top if you want to come up. Anything modified at all, like corn, any type of corn, wheat, rice, anything that's modified. They've done something to it. They've used chemicals sometimes. Sometimes they use ultra grinding stuff for it and mix things with it to modify it to make it do certain things. High fructose corn syrup, absolutely not. You don't want to have that in anything at all. And people, if you start writing some of your favorite companies, such as Smuckers, and tell them to stop using high fructose corn syrup in any of their products, and if everybody starts doing that, they're going to get feedback. Oh, we got more people that don't want it, that don't care. Hey, Val, how's it going? All right, Val, try this on for size. There are some recipes out there so you can make your own out of more healthy ingredients than what is actually in the Oreos, and they taste the same. Just saying, you can make your own and make it healthier. It won't exactly be absolutely healthy, but it'll be healthier than the regular Oreos. Regular corn syrup is not exactly good for you. Gee, I wonder why. Anything that has soy in it, soy in any form, soy oil, soy lecithin, soy powder, soy anything is not good for the human race. It's especially not good for men because it screws with our I can't even say it, testosterone levels, and it screws with our prostates. So soy is something you don't want to have. I was doing some research, and it was back in the early 70s or mid 70s that Best Foods went away from a natural mayonnaise to stuff using soy oil as the primary ingredient.
No, I don't want to say any particular canned food is bad, but it's not the best either.
Yeah.
Why you see what a lot of farmers, homesteaders, people that do pantries, maybe like myself, they can their own soups and stuff like that.
Yeah. And that's on Monday night Fireside Chat on my other channel, Camp Patton Family Compound. That's the stuff that's the things we've been covering for since I guess early December. This Monday's is going to be on freezer meals, doing freezer meals in bags, or if you have the good old-fashioned, highly tempered canning / freezer jars, those are good for using in the freezer. But let's go on to thing. Sugar. Sugar is I did a live stream. I forget which channel it was on. It may have been on Camp Patton Family Compound. Sugar, the necessary evil. Sugar is a preservative, and no, Kaylin, I just started with in December with Tammy of Rebel Canners. We started talking about canning foods and all that stuff back in December. Yeah, I know. I've heard people have deciphered Reese's peanut butter bars stuff, but it's healthier. And there's different things that people have deciphered the the commercial good tasting thing that has a bunch of the bad stuff added into it, and they put good stuff in there and get it to taste the same. Yes, it's not as cheap as the store-bought stuff, but it's a lot healthier. And
Believe it or not,
yeah.
believe it or not, macaroni, the cheese in macaroni and cheese isn't good for you.
Yeah. But the thing is, you gotta look at the different brands too, because they all aren't made the same. And I believe Ann's non-gluten macaroni and cheese is probably the healthiest one out there for the cheese mix too.
I'm not saying that I'm not exactly saying that they're all not good. Right. There's probably a couple of good ones,
but the majority are bad.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So sugar is used in a preservative for jams and jellies and stuff. Lately, my wife's been making a really low sugar apricot jam. Because it's such a low sugar, it doesn't stay bright orange. It starts going to a dark brown orange, and because it's not as preserved as much, but it's still preserved, and because also it's because it doesn't have as much sugar in it, it's thinner. It doesn't thicken up with all that without all that extra sugar in it. So, which almost makes it, if I were to take it and run it through a Cuisinart type, to really slice everything up fine, you'd probably put it in like an old glass ketchup bottle, and now we can just pour it out on your sandwich and then spread it around. But and there are people coming out with more and more recipes for substituting honey for sugar in a lot of recipes and stuff. And my wife is finding some recipes for doing honey instead of sugar for canning jams and jellies.
I don't do it with jams or jellies, but when I can my peaches and pears and apples, sugar, I remember seeing sugar having to go in there for some unforsaken reason. And I, instead of putting the sugar in there, I put honey in there instead.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think it's the water that you have set aside.
Yeah.
You're supposed to put some sugar in there to melt it. So it's like salt when you do soups and that. It's acts as a preservative. So I just put honey instead and treat it the same way.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you're putting jam on a slice of bread, it doesn't need to be thick and hold together. It can be kind of runny because the bread's going to absorb some of the moisture out of it, and it's and it also keeps you from putting a lot of jam on there. You don't need a lot on your sandwiches and stuff. If you're using it for instead of maple syrup on your waffles or pancakes, for like the recipes that my wife found, you can do for strawberries, apricots, nectarines, blackberries, blueberries, boysenberries. They're all low sugar and stuff, but they are generally a thinner jam. Okay, it says Courtney says device not connected. She's trying to come in, and it won't let me bring her up because the devices are not connecting, Courtney. She's waiting on her computer. So she's trying to get up here.
Yeah, I also
Courtney, it says that your mic, you need to connect your mic cam before I can add you to the stream. So I guess your either your microphone and or camera is not connecting.
Yeah, Velmac, I only put about half of the sugar in when I do my jams, because I looked at it and it was some ridiculous amount of sugar, and I'm like, no way. But instead I put half the amount of sugar in there, and then some pectin. Not a lot. Like I think I put I made 2 batches of it, and so I only put half of the amount of sugar I needed in there, and 1 package, which does 1 batch, I think, of jam. I put 1 package of pectin in there, so it was 50-50 mix.
Now the pectin, if you pectin comes from apples. They process apples and to create the pectin. So that is, that you put a little bit more of that in there. Molasses really isn't that healthy, because what molasses is cane sugar, or I think it's basically cane sugar, and there's another type of sugar they plant. When they're processing it, it still has a lot of the brown in it. That's what brown sugar is made from the molasses sugar and dehydrated out, and it's not bleached out like they do to make make it white sugar. So it is a molasses. Granted, molasses hasn't been totally bleached out and refined like granulated sugar or powder sugar. So it's a little bit better, but yeah, I know some people are using molasses, trying to find organic molasses where it's been stuff, but it's still a carbohydrate that can screw with your blood sugar levels.
Yeah, I don't use molasses very much, but I still use it, like making barbecue sauces and stuff like that.
Yeah, sorghum. So, sorghum is one of the main things they do for getting molasses. The blackstrap molasses is a byproduct of sugarcane production. Yeah. It has those other things in it, but it's still sugar. But yeah, absolutely. Molasses is better than white sugar. And Courtney saying, sorry, the computer is slow. Yeah. Well, Courtney, if you quit going to all those funky sites, looking at beaver butt juice, it might not be downloading all that stuff onto your computer. Right, she's trying again here. There she is.
Hey.
Yay!
Sorry, my computer was really slow. I don't know what was up with that, but.
Hey, Courtney.
Hey, what's up, Marshmallow Man?
Not much.
Yeah.
Got a lot of snow last night.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not getting it. I mean, we got flurries, but it's just super cold and windy. That's pretty much all. I mean,
yeah, ours has been cold and windy too. That 1 to 8 inches was 1 inch. Of course, the afternoon we got like 6 inches. My daughter said over there.
Mm-hmm.
4 hours later, it had all blown away.
Yeah, last night.
Off her property, off of my property. The only place it built up was around buildings and around trees.
Oh, wow.
It just blew right on through out into the farmers' fields.
Last night it started around 6 o'clock. I woke up to about 10 inches to a foot of the real wet stuff. Oh, wow. I pulled out the snow thrower. The neighbor had his tractor with the snow thrower on it. Said, can you please do my driveway? And I just touched up where he couldn't bring that thing in to do. It was wet.
Now, out of all the sugars, honey is probably the best for you, especially if it's local honey, to get all the extra benefits of everything in it. My one niece had asthma allergies like you would not believe, until my sister switched her over to raw honey on her stuff. And then and when she was getting the local raw honey, all of a sudden all her asthma just disappeared.
Wow.
Because all the pollen and stuff and the bee stuff, you're getting the pollen, it makes the honey and everything else. There's something about it when you take that helps inoculate you against other pollens.
Yeah.
And she mentioned to the doctor, oh, that can't be right. That can't be right. and she told the doctor stop pushing drugs and start being a healthcare provider. The doctor says you're no longer my patient. She goes, cool. She goes, I'll find someone who's actually practices healthcare medicine, not drug medicine. And that doctor, and she put it out there, and that doctor lost a lot of patients.
Another thing that's good for you is the real maple syrup, like out of the tree.
Yeah, not the stuff in the store, because that's all corn syrup.
Yeah,
the real stuff. If I could make enough of the real stuff, that's all I'd be having in the house.
Yeah.
And what's funny is I'm trying to remember the name of the town in Utah. There's a mountain there called the Big Rock Candy Mountain, and it looks like rock candy, but because the water springs coming out, bring all these different minerals. It's all sorts of different colors, and they would sell maple rock candy there, and basically take the maple syrup and they do a slow heating of it to evaporate it down to the sugar, to the sugar crystals and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, this was when I was about 16, 17. Oh, that stuff was so good. Hard, I mean, literally hard as a rock. You did not bite it. You broke off a piece of a nutcracker and you sucked on it for an hour.
That's funny.
Date sugar. Okay. Okay. Explain that one, please, Steph. Carob powder. Carob. Yeah, the song. I forget the name of the guy. He was a hobo around, and that's a lot of the terminology in the original Big Rock Candy Mountain is about hobos and stuff. But Burl Ives really kid friendly it and made it friendly for kids and stuff. All right, and let me see here. I think this next slide is the one going back to the talks about what is in Cheetos. Are you ready for this, Courtney?
I don't eat Cheetos very often, but yeah, I'm curious.
Once again, for those that just came in later here, Cheetos. That's why I got no Cheeto eating. You know, I haven't looked up Kool-Aid. I ought to look up Kool-Aid. Enriched corn meal, which is corn flour, ferrous sulfate, niacin, thiamine mononitrate, riboflavin, and folic acid. Then they adds vegetable oil, which consists of corn oil, canola oil, and or sunflower oil. Then you have the cheese seasoning, which is whey, cheddar cheese, milk cheese cultures, salt, enzymes. Oh, they're adding enzymes to it. Oh, that's always good. So, canola oil, maltodextrin.
Why would you need canola oil and or sunflower oil? Why would you need both?
Well, it's either corn, canola, and or I mean, it may be all three. It may be any one or any combination there, or whatever's cheapest when they're making it. I guarantee you that's because they buy whatever's cheapest at the time. See, maltodextrin made from corn, which is refined so thin it penetrates the blood vessels. That's one of the reasons why it's bad. Natural and artificial flavors, beaver butt juice, salt, whey protein concentrate, monosodium glutamate, lactic acid, citric acid, artificial color number yellow. I talked about how it has cancer stuff in it, and salt. So you got 4 different salt in there 4 different times.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Drop that down.
I know that maltodextrin or whatever, I can't have it.
Yeah.
I can have a little bit, but there for a while I was drinking like a diet tea, Lipton tea, and it's like the best diet. It's the best diet tea. It tastes just like tea, like sweet tea. However, it has maltodextrin in it, and it flares my IBS like you wouldn't believe. Like I get sick so bad. So I stay away from it because it makes me so sick.
I know the ferrous part is the iron. So it's an iron sulfur mixture for that. And the Cottonseed oil is also common. They tend to, they'll blend oils, they'll mix oils. That's why they generically say vegetable oil, and they list some of the main possible ones. But the FDA lets them get away with, oh, we had to substitute a little of this in there, but it's a common stuff. It's not, yeah, and they little money under the table to the FDA inspectors. And Glenn's in the house. Hi, Garden.
Hi, Glenn. It's been
okay.
crazy.
So it's also she read corrected. It's supposed to be CAROB powder is a natural substitute for cocoa powder. It's naturally sweet. Cool. But yeah, whatever you have in your pantry, I wish my pantry was this big. You need to try to, pick out what is good and healthy, because even nowadays, something bad's always going to slip in.
Oh yeah, because honestly, unless you manufacture it yourself and you know exactly what's in it, you can't get away from it. And how many people out there are like me and you and Marshmallow Man that grow our own stuff? There's not that many. I mean, we have a big community on YouTube, but if you put us all together, we're like 1/16 of the population, So really, I mean, there's not that many people out there that grow their own food. So most of everybody's ingesting this stuff, and there's no way around it. What are you going to do?
Yeah. And even those that are growing their own food, they're not growing all their food. Very few people. I mean, you're probably looking at 1/1000th of the population, even less than that, probably 1/1,000,000th of the population.
Yeah, now you got me curious. I'm curious about what exactly is in a loaf of bread.
Oh,
did you go over that already?
I saw a cooking channel did what's in a loaf of bread and explained the differences and stuff. And they were just going about how they make the light, fluffy bread as opposed to homemade bread, the things they add to it. And working with breads and stuff, they actually add gluten to the store-bought bread to make it stick together and get fluffier.
Yeah.
And still be able to stay together to work a sandwich, and there's something else they add to it.
Hey, Shawnee Shab. But yeah, it's just ridiculous, and you can't get away from it. There for a while, I was trying to, because I have so many stomach problems, and I was trying to do, gluten-free. Mm-hmm. I feel really horrible for anybody that actually has celiac disease, because what the heck can you eat? Even the drinks, you have to be really careful what you're drinking, because they put wheat in it.
Mm-hmm.
Why the heck would you put wheat in a drink?
All right. Hang on. I'm going to pull something up here. Let me get to the right one here. And I can pull this up here for you. Yeah, going through all the condiments, 99% of all relish has high fructose corn syrup in it. 99% of all ketchup has high fructose corn syrup.
Unless you get the Heinz where it says no.
Or says simply, Heinz Simply, yes.
Yeah.
And there's another brand that has theirs that's all natural stuff. 99% of all jams have high fructose corn syrup in it. Let me look this other thing. What's the Walmart's brand?
Great Value.
Great Value. I wanted to say Good Value, and it's not. Good Value. FLA. Flavor powder packet ingredients. There we go. Boom. This one is not listing it. Okay, here we go. All right. The little powder pack, you get your glasses here or your little bottle. You're going to add the little flavoring to it, water flavoring, like I forget the name, the main brand one, but just to flavor your water so it's not plain and everything else. If you get the Walmart stuff, you will not believe what the number one ingredient, the largest amount of stuff in it is. Maltodextrin.
Yeah. We get those. I get the liquid ones. and they're usually have like stevia and stuff in them.
Yeah. And so then it has.
Yeah. Now I'm curious because the grape.
And red number 40. Oh, blue number 1.
Is that like the sugar-free ones?
That is the. I think it's got the blue circle on it. I think that is sugar-free.
Oh, Lord.
Got the little pale blue circle here on it. I think that is the
like
sugar-free
all we
one.
drink.
I used to get the when I was driving to California, I would get the grape energy one until I saw that it had that the number 1 ingredient was maltodextrin in it.
Yeah.
Same thing with the strawberry one. Those are the 2 flavors I can like. But hey, living my best life at 60, welcome. And it's just so you start reading ingredients and it's like, holy crap, they're poisoning us. It's just, scary.
I swear they're doing it on purpose. It's crazy.
Shawnee says, I had to read the labels on heavy cream and sour cream to find a company that doesn't use fillers and gums. Yes.
It's ridiculous. It should be. I don't know. I don't get it.
Yeah. Well, here's what pisses me off. I'm sorry. I'm going to get really pissy here, folks. 20 years ago, 15 years ago, 15 years ago, Smuckers used to advertise, we don't use high fructose corn syrup.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, sugar was bad again. So what they do? They switched to high fructose corn syrup.
Yeah. And there was all these studies that came out that high fructose corn syrup, they put it in a petri dish, and I mean, it causes rats to get cancer and all this stuff. And then I see, who was it? Mario Lopez doing a commercial about how great corn syrup was.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? That was like the first corn syrup commercial I've ever really seen, and I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I haven't seen corn syrup commercials for regular Carol corn syrup since early 70s.
It's crazy.
Now, crap, I just lost it here. I had a squirrel moment there. My favorite ice cream. My favorite ice cream has always been vanilla because you can add anything to it. You can add chocolate. You can add strawberry. You can put grape jam on it. You can put whatever you want on it. My favorite ice cream used to be Breyer's Natural. It had 4 ingredients. 4. Heavy cream, vanilla, eggs, and sugar. Okay. The last one I got, I didn't look at it. Oh, it's Breyer's. Okay. And also I felt weird. Then I looked at it. Number 1 ingredient, heavy cream. Number 2 ingredient, high fructose corn syrup.
Yeah.
I threw it out. And it's then the next time I was at the store, I went through every Breyer's thing now is using high fructose corn syrup in all their ice cream.
Yeah, that's horrible. That used to be like the only ice cream my dad could eat because it was like supposed to be all natural. Mm-hmm. Because any other ice cream would send him to the bathroom like immediately. So Breyer's was the ice cream that my dad chose to eat. By the way, their vanilla is like out of this world.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic. And it's not boring, Dustin. It is not boring.
He makes fun of me because that's all I eat is vanilla ice cream because I like it. Yeah. And I don't have to put anything on it. Like, I love it when it's even a little bit melted. It's like freaking delicious. Mm-hmm. And my
milkshake. A milkshake. Yeah. It's vanilla ice cream. You don't use a Rocky Road to make a milkshake.
Right.
You don't use any.
I was about to say milkshakes. Stuff ice cream stuff in the blender.
Oh yeah.
And my favorite of all ice creams is butterscotch, but I don't get that very often. Yeah. But I also love Ben and Jerry's, by the way. I don't care about their politics. Ben and Jerry's is my favorite ice cream. And they used to have one that was strawberry cheesecake, and it had big chunks of graham cracker crust in there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it was to die for.
Oh, here's the other thing too on the Breyers vanilla. It no longer says vanilla extract on it.
I never noticed. You know, that's just one of those things that you always get because you assume.
This has happened in the last 3 years. Because when I was doing my first live streams, I showed it. See, I had a carton and I showed it on here, what was in it. Since then, they've changed it up. And now instead of saying vanilla extract, it says natural flavor. Beaver butt juice for their vanilla, their artificial vanilla.
Yeah, but you know what? Even if you're using beaver butt juice, that's actually a natural thing that comes from a beaver. If it says artificial, what are they coming up with to make it taste like vanilla?
Yeah.
That's kind of scary. I only eat pepperoni and cheese pizzas too. Every once in a while I'll ask for onions on it, but I only like pepperoni and cheese. My husband makes fun of me. Why don't you just order a plain pepperoni and cheese again? Like, that's all I like. Stop making fun of me.
Hey, Suladine, how's it going? Yeah, it's the stuff in your pantry. I mean, it's like, that's why I got the one you can see this either side of you, the home canning stuff and everything else. We need to, as a society, go back to the victory gardens of World War II and World War I and grow stuff at home.
Right.
But it's just, there's so much problems. Hey, Gear, how's it going?
I wish that I had the manpower. I wish that I was younger and had the manpower to expand my garden into our back pasture, because that would be like one of my goals. I would have so much garden. I would have and then if I could just like can. I wish I had like, you know how back in the day they purposely had 5 to 6 kids, maybe even more, 12 kids. Well, this would help.
Yeah.
They would help, you know. I wish I kind of had that. I don't want to.
The purpose for having large families was to work the land, to grow the food, because one person can only grow so much food.
Yeah.
10 people can grow 20 times as much food as one person can grow.
My last landlord, the place I lived before here, he's Dutch. The whole family's Dutch. And they had 3 boys and 3 girls.
Mm-hmm.
And they had between two of 4 properties, they had 350 acres.
Oh, Phelan, thank you very much. Woohoo! That helps out. That helps out, especially since YouTube has stopped putting ads on my regular videos. I'm not getting anything from my regular videos now. It's just like, you're telling people to get prepared, or we're going to shadow ban you, and when we do put your videos out there, we're not going to put any ads on them.
Nice. But yeah, I would love to expand, maybe even add some more. I told my husband, I said, can we expand a little bit more? Like, I'd like to put some raised beds behind my greenhouse that I have. I don't know, but he's like, don't you think we have enough space?
Well, it's like Idaho Garden Girl said on her live stream today. She has the raised planter beds, and here in Idaho, in summertime, you look straight up and the sun's going to be to the north. So the south side of the garden of the raised planter beds are in shade. And she plants some shaded plants along there. I didn't catch what ones they were, but I could imagine you could plant lettuce there really good, and some other ones that, that don't want the hot summer heat up here.
Yeah.
And it'll do, absolutely great.
I heard that somewhere, I don't know if it's true or not, but it takes about 2 acres a person to feed a year or something like that. I remember 2 acres being there.
Yeah.
Nice.
Kaylin, the other thing on this is it's not due to medical condition. My grandmother was in her 70s and stuff. She would take care of she would stand there at the stove and can. She wouldn't go out down in the field and pick everything. That's what the grandkids were for. The grandkids went down and picked the blackberries. The grandkids went down and picked the apples, the apricot, the peaches, and she would just stand there, and then she would have a couple of the grandkids in the kitchen with her, and she'd be directing them around, imparting her knowledge to the grandkids, passing on the information.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's how the Dutch farmer did it at the last place I was living at.
Yeah.
And his 3 boys, he had at the time that I was living there, I think the youngest one was maybe 8 or 10, and he's driving a big payloader, like a 50,000-pound machine, and packing down the silage, right? As the father was doing this, driving this tractor, one of the other brothers was driving this tractor, and the other son was keeping an eye on the sheep with the mom. And there's always something to do, right?
Yeah. It's like when we moved back from Arizona to Martinez, and we're doing stuff, getting ready to put a house pad in. I'm 17 years old. My brother's 15 years old. My dad borrows an old Massey Ferguson tractor from a friend of his. And so we're out there learning how to drive a Massey Ferguson. Granted, I have my driver's license, but my brother doesn't. He's 15. And he's out there learning how to drive a Massey Ferguson. And we were having the most fun you could believe for, out causing trouble. It's like, no trouble. We're having fun.
That's funny.
Yeah, driving tractors are different than driving trucks.
Yeah. When my daughter was young, I got a picture somewhere, and when we can get a copy of it and make a digital copy of it, I'll put it on the computer here. But I'm driving my John Deere tractor, and she's sitting on my lap, helping to drive it. I got my hands up like this, and she's driving the tractor, or she's steering the tractor. And the same thing with her boys now. When I'm driving the Coyote around, Danny and Aiden have get up in my lap. Next year or this next summer, Oliver will be big enough for me to put him up on my lap driving the tractor. But Danny was up there just having a blast over here. Aww. And he got to go, now turn to the right, and he's up and he's turning it, and he's just, his head's about that big around, a smile going all the way up, touching in the back just about. He was just so happy. Hey, Moon, how's it going?
What's up, Moon?
Interesting thing. All right, I'm touching on age here since we're talking about little kids and stuff, driving tractors and stuff. I've been watching several older movies, Singing in the Rain, The Music Man, and there were several things going on, and the age thing is not what it is today. And then one of the channels I follow, the Fat Electrician, does all these historical things on military aircraft and everything else. There was this girl, Tina something or other. All right, she weighed, as an adult, she weighed 80 pounds and was 5 foot tall.
Oh, wow.
All right. She was the first. She invented the ripcord for the parachute. All right. She was a performer first from jumping out of balloons with a parachute that had a static line on it, and then from planes. And when she was doing a demonstration for the planes, the static line broke as she was falling. So she had to go back and ripcord, and all of a sudden, that's an idea. Let's make it so it has a ripcord to open it up. All right, you ready for her stats? She got married at 12, had her first child at 13, and was out and went out performing at 15, doing these stunts and stuff. It was all right. When I was in West Virginia, I was checking records and stuff. You would not believe, even in 1979, the number of people getting married at 14, 15, and 16 in West Virginia, and not just the hick towns in the big cities. That you used, if you were 16 and not married, you were an old maid.
Oh God.
Right. My great grandmother got married at 15. My grandmother got married at 15. My mom waited a little bit, but this is now we're in World War II, and she got married. First time she got married was at 19.
Yeah, that seemed to be their age. Like my grandparents, they got married 17, 18.
Yeah.
That seemed to be the age
that used to be it. And then somebody goes, "Oh, we can't have these poor people getting married so young." Well, that's because you're not training them right. And hey, gunslinger, how's it going? And the youth of today, they're not teaching them home ec, how to get a job, blue collar skills and stuff. It's like, oh, they're just learning how to crunch numbers and do the internet and learn computer stuff and learn fake history. And it's just like, yeah, it's totally different. And the problem is, it goes right into what we're eating. They're giving them, nobody knows what real food is. So I can't believe this one person put out a video on TikTok or whatever it was, and complaining about, well, why do we have to have the cows? Why do they have to butcher the cows and stuff? We can just get the beef at the store.
Is that for real? Did somebody really say that? Like,
oh yeah.
What?
I thought that my dad's been in the meat industry for years, grandpa too, right? Mm-hmm. When I didn't know what a kill floor was until I was like 6 or 7 years old. That's what I thought. Why can't we just get meat from the store, right? Or from dad's shop? I didn't think they came from farms.
Yeah.
And they were slaughtered, right? When I first seen I cried. Yeah. Being a kid, right? But my dad says, this is how we do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, when you're a little kid, it is a little bit traumatizing, but you also need to be taught the right way as well.
Yeah.
That is food. And, see, I didn't grow up that way. And so my first time seeing cows hanging from the barn, kind of traumatized me a little bit. That's why I'm such a weird eater today. Like,
yeah.
Oh, my sister tried it. My sister tried being.
All right, go ahead, Lewis.
My sister tried being in the meat industry, working for dad. She turned straight vegetarian.
Yeah, it's.
Meanwhile, here I got chickens in the backyard, and I've slaughtered about a dozen of them already.
Yeah.
It bothers me, but at the same time, it's what we do. We've been doing it for hundreds of years, right? It's. Yeah. Some people are, my dad said some people will do it and handle it okay, fine. Some people, it's just the way it is, right? My mom's almost the same way. She can't stand me slaughtering chickens. She'll turn into a vegetarian living with me. But
yeah,
it's what we've been doing for years.
Yeah. See, I grew up, I was about 6 or 7 when my parents and my grandmother culled a bunch of the chickens and, did them up and froze them and stuff and cooked them and canned them and whatever. I made, canned stews and stuff like that. And my parents tried shooing my younger brother and I away, and we kept sneaking back and watching. They saw, who don't want you to see it? I go, why? We need to learn how to do that. And that shocked my parents. They go, oh, okay. But they both grew up doing this.
Yeah.
But they wanted to protect us from it. It's like, what's to protect? That's the way things, we know we raise chickens and that's where chickens come from.
Yeah.
but it's
Although, still to this day, like, I won't kill my laying hens for any reason. Like, not really. Like, there's me birds, and for me, there's my laying hens. And my husband's like, that one's gonna be, soup. And I'm like, no, it's not.
Yeah, you know, laying hens are good for soup.
Hey, Gunslinger, you're right about that partially. The kids that start out in Cub Scouts, though, by the time they get to Boy Scouts for the wilderness survival and those courses, they're generally have their heads on straight. But the rest of the kids in school, the other 90% of them or 95% of the kids in school, yeah, they're screwed up.
Yeah. Yeah, and I cried when we had 10 turkeys one year and we butchered them, and I fell in love with the tom. Usually when you buy straight run, you don't usually get a male in there. Like, you all get females or whatever, but we got a male by accident. I fell in love with him, but we ended up giving him to our neighbors. That thing was huge. It was like 40-pound turkey.
Yeah.
She had to like cut it in half to fit it in her oven to cook it. It was freaking huge.
Yeah.
But I felt bad murdering. I felt like we were murdering our male turkey, but I got over it because I knew they were food the entire time. But it was very upsetting for me.
Yeah, one of the things here, we for all of our chickens, I'm not sure what happened, what was going on. Because at the time I didn't pay attention to it, but we had 3 roosters for all the chickens we had. That's it. We only had 3 roosters. One was my pet that someone gave me, and that was Charlie, and he would sit on my shoulder. I'd go out and feed all of them. He'd stay on my shoulder the entire time. I'd go back to his cage, open it up, and he would hop off into his cage. I'd feed him. All right, I go out there, I get done doing stuff, everything else, nothing else. So I go out, put Charlie on my shoulder. We walk around. I'd be playing with a stick, like little Opie, but I had a rooster on my shoulder till the rats got him. But we had two other roosters, and that was it. I don't remember any other roosters. I don't know if my parents, when they, as a little one, oh, that's a rooster, give it away or what.
Yeah.
But I know I do know that when they actually butchered, I was there watching them butchered, and these were big hens.
I have more roosters out there right now than I want to deal with. I have a Barred Rock Easter Acre rooster right now. I have a Leghorn rooster, another purebred Barred Rock, my Lavender Orpington. So yeah, there are too many out there. I have two males. By the way, my female turkey decided to start laying eggs. She had like 12 eggs. I'm like, what is going on? And she hid in my one garden by my food forest. And she thought nobody could see her over there because she hid. I have like a decorative bench, and I call it grandma's garden. It's my dedicated garden to my grandmother. So I have a bench sitting in there, and she was all fluffed underneath the bench, like nobody can see me under here.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So then she seriously got up and walked away and left them all. So what a weirdo. What a horrible mother.
Yeah. Sula Dean, at my age, if I can take a pickup with a camper shell on it, that's what I'm taking. My back and stuff. Yeah, I started out camping as a Cub Scout on the ground with a wool blanket. I've done all that. I think it's like I've had enough. I want to be able to get up in the morning and move. This old body is sore. It needs a soft bed under it.
This whole week, like, my husband has been having back problems. I think he has arthritis. And so I started him on a strict regimen of different vitamins, and one of them was turmeric. He took them for like a couple of days, and he's like, oh my gosh. He's like, I think this is working. So he's been taking turmeric every day.
Oh, okay. Hang on. I just clicked over here. Weiler's Light Lemonade. First ingredient, citric. Actually, let me just bring it up.
I think it all has sucralose in it.
Hang on. I unshared the screen. There we go. Okay, so Weiler's Light Classic Lemonade singles to go packets contain citric acid,
Maltodextrin,
maltodextrin, instant tea, aspartame, artificials and natural flavors, and then 2% or less of you got some potassium there, you got some magnesium in there. Oh crud! You got red 6, yellow 5, and blue 1. Artificial food colors, I think, are something else that needs to be.
Nothing is like natural anymore. Nothing has it. And then when it says it has natural, I don't believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we can only grow so much food, and some of it's hard to grow, and that's why we get some of these artificial stuff, some of these glucose, fructose sugars to help preserve. Like, and is it healthy? Not necessarily.
All right. I know why killing fish doesn't bother you.
Mm-mm. And
this is a paraphrase quote from the first episode of Airwolf. And Stringfellow Hawk is telling Gabrielle, "Oh, I understand why you don't like rabbits. Nice, fluffy rabbits. Fish. You got the flounder, and you got this 2 eyes on one side of its head. That's an ugly fish." He goes, "Yeah, that's an ugly fish. I like fish." And he goes on and he goes, "And lamb." She goes, "Yeah, I like lamb." And he goes, "Cute, cuddly lamb." She throws something at him.
That's screwed up.
Yeah, he goes through. Oh, I understand. He lists all the ugly animals, and then he rounds it back. Just all the food she likes, and he says lamb and brings it back to a cute, cuddly lamb, and gets her all frustrated and mad.
Yeah, I love fish. I just had fish the day before yesterday, and I love shrimp. I'm a shrimp eater.
What's interesting is the one fish I didn't know what it was. It's the 99% of fish sticks are made from cod.
Yeah,
and it's like, okay, cod is a seafood. I can't fish that out of a stream. And for the longest time, unless it was fish sticks, I didn't like it. And it took until after, I guess I was about in my 20s, that I went to scout camp to help out with my brother, who was the scoutmaster of the troop at the time, my younger brother. And so we were up there, and he's catching fish and stuff and everything else. And he goes, "All right, let me show you the way our mom and dad should have taught you how fish should have been cooked." And he had some olive oil and garlic butter, and he cooked it all up in that, and it just smelled heavenly, and it tasted great. Unlike the fish my parents would fry up at home. And it's one of the things there's so much stuff. If you learn to eat the stuff cooked right, it's a lot easier.
Oh, you can totally mess up some fish, and you'll be like, "Oh, I'm never eating."
You could totally mess up vegetables.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Number one vegetable is easiest to mess up: Brussels sprouts.
Yeah.
My mom would burn the Brussels sprouts every single time she tried to cook them. She didn't know about steaming them and putting butter on them and other stuff.
The best fish I've ever had, I was up north helping build a $2 million cottage, and this guy had a big, huge cast iron frying pan, and he had an outdoor barbecue made out of cement bricks. And he'd put a little bit of wood and a little bit of charcoal, get that going. And that's how he cooked it up in garlic and butter and some kind of oil. And man, it was really good.
Yeah, I can imagine. That's
all right. Valmac put out something really good. She's got an app called Yucca. It rates the safety of foods ingredients by the barcodes. So it's an app for your phone. So you can just go up there and Oh, nope, not getting that. Ooh, this one's good. Nope, not getting that. That sounds cool. So
I'm
cool.
just glad that I like make my own sauces and stuff like that because like because I watched my sugar intake. I'm not a diabetic, but I watch exactly like my sugar intake. So my sauce, I don't put anything in it, and then I can add as much sugar as I want to it versus the stuff that you buy at the store. Like even my father-in-law is like, because he is a he is really healthy, except for the fact that he has diabetes and he doesn't matter what medication he tries, it's not under control. And he's having a hard time. He said that he can't have any red sauces from the grocery store because they all have
High
massive
fructose corn
amounts of
syrup.
sugar and it'll spike his blood sugar like you wouldn't believe. So he has to buy tomato sauce, like that doesn't have any sugar in it, and make his own.
Yeah.
And put that on.
Believe this or not, I have an attention deficit hyperactive disorder, and that red sauce tends to make me a little more hyper than normal.
Yeah. It's because of the massive amounts of sugar in it. It's unreal unless you make your own, which I don't add. I like if I am cooking it, I put brown sugar in my sauce anyway. So I'll put like a half a cup of brown sugar in it, and I'll put all my own spices in it. I can't believe even the stuff that they put in the herbs that are on the shelves. Like you have to watch that as well. Like all of McCormick's spices and all that. You'd be surprised of what all the crap that they put in that as well. It's like insane.
Yeah,
like,
my wife goes through. She goes through and nitpicks through the different brands of spices. We get this one here. We get that one there. Don't get this McCormick one. Get that McCormick one. Yeah. Don't get this one. Schillings, get that one. And she picks through the different ones because the crap they put in there.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Now, that was your father-in-law you were talking about?
Yeah. He's really healthy. He was healthy before this. It's an inherited thing because Dustin's grandma had diabetes really bad. And so it's, but
what is he eating a lot of grains, breads, pastas?
No.
He's cut all that out.
Yeah, he even tried doing some sourdough because he said, it says that sourdough is supposed to be really good for diabetics,
Yeah.
So, and he said, I can't even eat sourdough. It spikes my blood sugar.
Yeah, it sounds like he's got a combination of his diabetes has gone into like type 2 diabetes, and he still has a pancreas that's reacting as from insulin resistance. Mm-hmm. So he really,
Cinnamon. Try giving him the cinnamon, real cinnamon.
Yeah. I told him that he is taking that. There is another drug, and I can't think of it right now. It's supposed to not mimic. It was the drug before there's a specific diabetes medication out there. And then what they do is they take that specific herb and then they chemicalize it and make it into a massive known drug. So I found it on Amazon and I sent a picture to him, and he is already on that as well. And I was like, well, dang. I'm like, he's taking like cinnamon and he's taking that. I'm like, he's taking all these herbs to try and help him. And then on top of that, like he's still having issues. I mean, it's down quite a bit, but I'm sure it's just like a major pain in the ass. Like I feel so horrible for him. Like, because other than that, he's in perfect health. Like he's not overweight in any means. My
youngest son was diagnosed as having ADHD, and they prescribed one medicine for him, and he went totally off the wall, hyper. Oh, we'll try this one, totally off the wall, hyper. And finally, so he told the doctor, hey, none of these drugs you're giving him are working at all. And so we wound up just realizing, okay, he's having too much sugar. Took the sugar away from him, and it really wasn't ADHD.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you take those drugs and they do the opposite of what they're intended for, you don't have ADHD.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the same with Adderall. Like if you take that and it will do the exact opposite of what, because it's meant for people that actually have those disorders. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I was on Adderall in high school. So for years, for a couple years. Actually.
Take a look. I just wanted to mention, take a look at all the stuff in sugars in food today. Big pharma. I think there's a connection there.
Yeah.
Like get diabetes, they prescribe out more diabetic stuff, right?
Right. Yeah, and then they don't tell you how to take. See, that's another thing I have noticed because my sister-in-law also has diabetes. It runs in the family. So, they just threw a bunch of medication at her and they wanted her to be on insulin right away instead of taking pills. And they didn't really tell her how to eat, how to take care of yourself. They just throw that at you and say, you can eat whatever you want. Here is your insulin. You just take this. Well, that doesn't help you. You have to actually
change your diet.
Carbs a day. Like you can't just eat whatever you want and then inject yourself with insulin. So it's really sad, like what these doctors are really doing to people.
The body's an amazing thing. I'm not talking about like diabetes or stuff. I'm talking about because I've cut my hands with knives being around the meat industry so many times. And I don't know how my mom's got a famous saying, don't you think you need to go to the hospital to get stitches? And I don't know how many times I've bandaged it up and took care of it. And it might have taken a little longer to heal up. But at the same time, it healed up. And other than a scar and losing a little bit of feeling, it looks as normal as it ever was.
Yeah.
We are not doctors. Do not take Lewis's advice. If you chop off your finger, you cannot attach it with duct tape.
I'm not even talking about that. I'm not even talking about that, right? I'm talking about simple cuts that because I'm like 45 minutes from the hospital if I call an ambulance, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got to be worth, if it's like 2 or 3 stitches, that's one thing, right? And I'm no medical, but if it's going to be something like 10 stitches, then it's time to go.
Yep.
One of the, Paula was looking forward to this one. Dr. Paula Ruffin was looking forward to this one, but she had a friend come in from out of town unexpectedly. And so she couldn't make it. But she would actually love where this is going right now. She'd be chiming in there left and right. And... All right, Val, take care. Yeah, that's right. It's what 9:30 there in Florida.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're right. And Big Pharma doesn't make money by curing people, and I'm sure.
A cured person is a lost customer. When if they're cured, they're no longer a customer.
I have major stomach problems. I just want so badly to be cured of it.
Yeah.
I'm tired of this.
Check over here. Ready. Oh, okay. So, yeah. Kaylin, yeah, that's. Nurse gave her an orange and syringe and said, practice, knowing she was totally blind. Talk about an idiot nurse. You don't just hand something and say practice, you help them practice.
Mm-hmm. I had to inject myself when I was pregnant. And I almost had a mental breakdown over it because I'm like I couldn't even prick myself in the finger. I had how can I inflict pain on myself? I had a total how can I do this to myself? Finally, I found a way to do it, and I was proud of myself. I injected myself in the hip, and it was all good. But it took me forever to figure that out and to not be scared of doing it, because I was
Well,
like,
I'm the same way with needles, right?
oh,
I can cut myself and bandage it up depending on how bad it is. But if it's a needle, to do freezing, it took me a while.
yeah.
You know, like it just in the finger or something or whatever. And I'm no doctor. I know how to give a couple of stitches, right? But to do it with my own finger, oh man, it's just that little prick, that ouch, that initial when you're poking in.
And that little gun thing, it makes a little noise, and you flinch a little bit.
Oh.
You're like, I can't handle this. Like, yeah, it was rough. It was rough.
I drive when you're talking about needles and stuff. I drive my wife nuts, and she hates it. And I try to get her to help me. She hates it because I'll get in if I get a deep splinter. I'm in there with pull them out here. My super sharp tweezers, the utility knife.
Oh gosh,
and some other stuff. And I have a dental pick, and I'm doing an operation, making sure I'm getting that out. I go, can you hold this apart here so I can get in? She's like, how can you do that to yourself? Because I know what it's going to feel like if I don't do it to myself.
Yeah.
And see, I know when I'm pushing, okay, that hurts a little bit easier. I can work with it because I'm feeling as I'm doing it, the stuff on it. But yeah. Now I left a comment up here from Stephanie here. So where she is on Western Idaho, it's 17 and heavy snow. I just checked. We're now 8 degrees here. And I stood up and looked out the window, and it's snowing out here now.
Yeah, it's horrible.
So yeah.
But yeah, so that was not good. For 3 months I had to inject myself and watch specifically what I ate, and had to turn it into the doctor every week. And I was like my brain was going to explode. Yeah. But I got through it. It was okay. Yeah, that was horrible at the same time.
All the stuff my brother and I did as kids and stuff, building stuff, we were still teenagers and younger, so we weren't working construction, but we were building stuff. I mean, we were doing stuff that, they built a housing tract next to the guys who were watching us build our tree fort and go, dang, you guys are doing good. But my uncle told us something when we were about 14 and 12 years old. And like idiots, we go, oh, we're going to try that. He was a lineman in Las Vegas, Clark County. And when the clouds rolled in suddenly and the first crack, the company policy was, you get down off, you drop and you drop and slide down that pole as fast as you can. He goes, yes, I got a lot of scars here from where I just down the pole for the lightning hit and all the splinters and stuff. And they'd go in, they'd have a nurse waiting back at the thing there. And all these guys would come in and they'd be pulling splinters out of them. Because they to get down out, because they were tell someone to take their time getting down, we get hit by lightning up on the poles. Wow. Once they're off the pole doesn't get hit. But for some reason, with a body on the pole, it's like, hey, hit me with lightning.
Yeah, you have like this magnetic.
Mm-hmm. It's just like, oh, here's a wet here's a wet sack of a sack of wet meat here. Let's go hit it.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That's scary. Scary.
Well, we went a half hour longer than I was thinking about it, but hey, we covered a lot of stuff, and I hope everybody got some good out of this. Check your ingredients. Grow it yourself if you can. If you can't grow it yourself, go to the farmer's market. Or find a neighbor like Courtney and pay her.
Oh Lord, I'm gonna the summer
coming up here Monday. My other channel, Camp Patton Family Compound. On Monday Night Fireside Chat, starts at 8 o'clock Eastern, is going to be freezer meals, and should have Tammy from Rebel Canners up here. Courtney, you're welcome to come back up on that too. So we're going to talk about different type of freezer meals and different ways of doing the freezing, different things. Tuesday, back here on Gray Man Prepping for Tactical Tuesday, the topic is don't wait for an emergency to prep. And this is a response to some idiot ones out there. I'm going to call them that. They're idiots, or they're just trying to thin the herd. Telling people, oh, don't worry, just get the money, have the money set aside so when the emergency comes, you can go out and buy the stuff you need right then. You ain't going to be able to go out and buy the stuff you need right then.
No.
That's how fights over toilet paper start.
Yeah.
It was hilarious when we got the Blizzard the Blizzard watch the other day. They said the line at Winco was back to the store, all the lines.
Wow.
Costco was nuts. Sam's Club was nuts. All the grocery stores, people were buying bread, milk, and toilet paper. Bread, milk, and toilet paper.
Yeah, at that time in my life, we were shopping at BJ's, I think, and I was always one to buy toilet paper in bulk anyway, just so I don't have to go to the store. So at that point in my life, I already had like so much toilet paper. I didn't need it. Like, don't other people do that? Like, seriously, you only go to the store and buy like 6 rolls? What's wrong with you? Like,
they buy the rolls weekly or daily.
Yeah.
I need 4 rolls here. We got 6 kids. I'm going to buy 4 rolls today. Oops, I need to buy 4 more rolls tomorrow.
If it wasn't for the fact that I need to eat more fresh vegetables, I would like to go to the grocery store once a month. Yes. That is my plan. That's my goal. We used to do that all the time, but I need to get in the wintertime here. I need to eat more fresh vegetables. Yeah. So the stuff that I don't have in my garden right now. But once a month.
I'd be going every 3 days for fresh vegetables. So I live alone, right? Like, really, how much do I go? I gotta, buy
before you get a chance to even eat it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I most of the stuff I do is canning, and I live with that. And I go shopping once a month, right? And I get whatever fresh. And let me tell you, like I can my fruit. Is there a difference? Yeah, sure there is. But you know what? When I get it fresh, I buy an extra bag. Like, say I buy 3 bags of apples and can 3 of them. I buy a 4th bag of apples and I eat that. And it might be gone in 3 days, but you know what? It's gone in 3 days.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. So Thursday here on Gray Man Prepping for the Midnight Ride starts at 11:55. Eastern time. We're good. We got a little historical event coming up for this coming Thursday. We're going to be talking about the cow pens from the Revolutionary War.
Okay, cool.
It's the anniversary. That. And then on Friday on Kent Patton Family Compound, the topic is the shelves are and I froze. The shelves are stocked, but who is lacking? So you can kind of figure out what we're going to be talking about there. And then next Saturday here, hopefully we'll get the doctors in. Hopefully we'll try to get. I'm trying to get Paula to get Dr. Jack Wolfen in here too for next Saturday. The topic is diet versus diet versus diet. Okay, and I think this comes off of one that I think it was it Suzanne? It was suggested, and the suggestion was high protein vegetarian recipes for survival when people can't get meat. And so we're going to talk about diet and stuff and different alternatives for diet and stuff, and then we're also going to throw in a little bit about. You can't buy meat, but you can grow it. You may not like it, but you can grow it. So we're going to talk. That's what the diet versus diet is going to be next Saturday. All righty. Thank you, Courtney, for coming up. Thank you, Lewis. Thank you, everybody in the chat for your input and comments. And as always, everyone, stay happy no matter what life throws at you. Stay safe. Don't go out and do anything foolish, like sliding down a power pole. Keep adding to your preps. Water, food, medicine, clothing, and learn a new skill. And if you can this winter, grow something indoor. Get a 5-gallon bucket, put some lettuce in it and grow it. Or a tomato plant. Grow something indoors. All right, everyone. See you around.
Have a good night.